Yeah, this is the Gita class, chapter 12, sloka number 20. This is the last sloka in this chapter. We'll do the Mangalacharna prayers first. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjalasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutagovanam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savabhutam Parijana Sahitam कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादां सह गणललिता श्री विशाखाम्बितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवसादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण भगवान की जय प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay, chapter 12, 20th sloka. एतु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धदानामत्परमाः भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। एतु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धदानामत्परमाः भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। एतु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धदानामत्परमाः भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। Ye, those who do but dharma of religion, amritam nectar, idam this, yadha as uktam said, paryupasate completely engage, shatadhanaha with the faith, mat paramaha taking me the Supreme Lord as everything, bhaktaha devotees, te ativa very very may to me priyaha dear. Translation and purport. Translation: those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. So Bhagavan is saying, those who follow this imperishable, perishable, we know it, that spoils, imperishable. So it will never, it will never spoil. Imperishable path of devotional service. This is the path of devotional service is Bhakti Yoga. And who completely engage themselves with faith. The mainly the qualifications are completely engage themselves and with the faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. So here the person who is working in this devotional path, what he does, he completely engages. He's not like it's like a part-time job. He's like a full-time, very full-time job, engages themselves in the means what? The upadhis, the body, mind, indriyas, intellect, and everything he is engaging. And then what's the goal? The supreme goal is to know about the Bhagavan and know about the self-realization. And then making me the supreme goal are very, very, there are goals. So in the material world, to live, we should keep the mind healthy, body healthy, and then some financial stuffs needed. So those are all like small goals. But the supreme goal is the Bhagavan, our realization of ourselves. That is called, those people, then Bhagavan loves them, are very, very dear to Krishna. Like in the Vivek Chudamani first sloka, Jantunam Narajanma Dullabhamatah Pumstam Tato Viprata Tasmad Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata Vidvattam Asmat Param Atmanatma Vivechanam Swanubhavo Brahmatmana Samstuti Muktirno Shatakoti Janma Sukrutef Parne Vinalabhyate. So Shankaracharya says that after so many lives of the punyas, what they will do, they will make the self-realization as the goal. And that happens only after the punya of the unlimited number of lives. So that's the same thing almost he is saying. Krishna is saying that this path and making the supreme goal, Krishna, are very, very dear to me. So Shaddadhana Matparama Bhaktaste Tiva Me Priya. Tiva Priya. Let's purport. In this chapter, from verse 2 through the end, from Maya Veshamano Yamam, fixing the mind on me, through Yetu Dharmyamritavidam, this religion of eternal engagement, the Supreme Lord has explained the processes of transcendental service for approaching Him. Such processes are very dear to the Lord, and He accepts a person engaged in them. The question of who is better, one who is engaged in the path of impersonal Brahman or one who is engaged in the personal service of the Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, was raised by Arjuna, and the Lord replied to him so explicitly that there is no doubt that devotional service to the personal Godhead is the best of all processes of spiritual realization. In other words, in this chapter, it is decided that through good association, one develops attachment for pure devotional service and thereby accepts a bona fide spiritual master, and from him begins to hear and chant and observe the regulative principles of devotional service, okay, with the faith, attachment, and devotion, and thus becomes engaged in transcendental service of the Lord. Okay, so basically, with a good association, it develops pure devotional service, pure bhakti, and thereby accepts a master, bona fide spiritual master. From him begins to hear, chant, and observe the regulative principles of devotional service with faith and attachment and devotion, and thus becomes engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. This path is recommended in this chapter. Therefore, there is no doubt that devotional service is the only absolute path for self-realization for the attainment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The impersonal concept of the Supreme Realization, the impersonal concept of the Supreme Absolute Truth, as described in this chapter, is recommended only up to the time one surrenders himself for self-realization. In other words, as long as one does not have a chance to associate with a pure devotee, the impersonal conception may be beneficial. In the impersonal conception of the Absolute Truth, one works without fruitive results, meditates and cultivates knowledge to understand the spirit and matter. This is necessary as long as one is not in the association of a pure devotee. Fortunately, if one develops directly a desire to engage in Krishna consciousness in pure devotional service, he does not need to undergo step-by-step improvements in spiritual realization. Devotional service, as described in the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, is more congenial. One need not bother about materials to keep body and soul together, because by the grace of Lord, everything is carried out automatically. That's the end of the purport. So here, basically, Prabhupada is saying more about, basically you will be attracted to the Jnana Yoga, the impersonal concept, when you don't have the knowledge and don't have the devotion. Naturally, when you don't have the knowledge, there is no question of having a devotion. So from the birth, if you have faith on a particular God or anything, that means you might have done a lot of sadhanas in the previous lives. That is the only measurement. Otherwise, you won't have the faith. So the moment you have the faith, then you don't need the more knowledge, because the knowledge is unlimited and you cannot even get it. The ultimate knowledge you realize only when you realize your own true nature. Once you realize your true nature, then the knowledge is not required. So the knowledge is needed up to the point we divert our attention from the sense gratification to the devotional service, realization of ourself. That particular knowledge is needed. The moment you get the knowledge, then you will be more attracted to the devotional service, the Bhakti Yoga. So at one point of time, Bhakti and Jnana, they merge, because we see that the qualities mentioned in the Bhakti, Bhakta, and the Jnana qualities both are same. There is no difference. The only thing is like different paths people are attracted to, but then once you are in the path, once you start developing it, you don't have any misconception of both the paths or any of the paths. So that is the main thing. So here he is saying, like, what he's saying is, Those who follow this path and who completely engage themselves with faith, making the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Basically, this is the same thing. We need to work on it and then have the faith. So this is like a whole entire summary of the entire chapter, this sloka. And in this sloka, it is saying like whoever follows this, whatever the instructions, with the faith, they are very dear to the Bhagavan, and then you will never be lost. Like for example, India Prakashananda Swami says, like people, the student who has a ultimate faith on the teacher, and also the teacher's favorite student, he will never be lost. He will be always successful because of the right directions. Same thing when the father is taking care of a kid, the kid's welfare is totally, there is no doubt in that. He will be totally protected. Similarly, when the Bhagavan likes it, then there is no question of us success in the spiritual life. So when the Bhagavan likes it, that means when we have certain qualifications and we do certain way, then we will be dear to the Lord Krishna, Bhagavan. And naturally, to do that, just understand the instructions which are very clear, and then simply have a faith and follow it. Just don't doubt about whether this is right or that is right, or maybe something else is missing in these instructions, like in the Guru's instructions, or maybe this is not the way, or the mind plays different roles. So if you simply understand this entire chapter and then just simply follow it, and then you're done. Okay, let's summarize the entire chapter with this in this context. So the first one, Arjuna asks like, okay, who is perfect? Those who follow the personal or impersonal. Nirakara, Sagunakara, Akara. Okay, Nirguna, Saguna. And then he says, then that is the question, and then Krishna is going to answer from 2 to 19th. And the 20th sloka he says like, just who follows this are very, very dear to me, and there is a success for them. So, and then the first thing, the text 2, the Supreme Lord says that those who fix my personal form and engage in worshipping with great and transcendental faith are considered the most perfect. So all he says is like a worship and the faith in the form. So if you really see, the samsaris or the householders, they getting into the Jnana Marga is almost impossible, because in the Jnana Marga you will be totally analyzing and controlling the senses and doing a lot of tapasyas, and then in that one there is no specific akara, and it's like aham brahmasmi, and you yourself is the supreme one. That is where you just go in that journey. So you may be attracted to that, and then you may be liking that in the beginning, but in the sense like, are you really fit for that? You need to understand the measurement. In this world, when you are working for something and you are maintaining the things, and like Janaka, you need to do like that, and which is very, very difficult in this, especially in this life. So the best path he's saying is like a devotion service. Even for the devotion service also, you need a jnana. That's what it is, jnana bhakti. Out of all four, artho adhat jnasi, jnani cha bharatashava, tesham jnani nityukta, eka bhaktir vishishyate. So jnani is also a bhakta. Eka bhakti is only one pointed devotion. And then Krishna says like he is the best out of that, out of all the bhaktas. So four kinds of bhaktas. One who is artho, jignasu, ardhati, jnanicha. Artho, who is interested, who wants something. Jignasu, who is inquisitive about the Lord. And then artho, jignasi, ardhati, who wants something materially or whatever, this desire. And then the other one, fourth one is category is the jnani. He doesn't need anything. He's just he's just focused on that, and then he wanted to do it, and then he is just doing that for the self-realization and for the realization of the God. That's called the jnani. So here, so that's why definitely you need a knowledge. Without the knowledge, the bhakti won't stay for a long time. And without the bhakti, the knowledge won't stay, because you have the ego and then lot of um, um, egoistic ideas which will kill in the jnana marga. So that's why he will say it's like mainly who is engaged in the great and transcendental faith or considered. So fixing the mind, that is the main thing. Then on the 3 and 4 slokas he says like one who is, he says like who is also interested in the jnana marga, they also achieve, but it is very difficult. And fifth one he says whose minds are attached to the impersonal future, the advancement is very troublesome, and then the discipline very difficult, those who are embodied. So people who are the body consciousness, it is very hard for them in the jnana marga, nirguna, nirakara rupa. Okay, so first of all you need to get out from this body consciousness, then only you can able to enjoy the impersonal aspect of the Bhagavan. At the same time, the Akara, even the impulse, for example, if you really see, even if you think about Nirguna, Nirakara, Nirma, Nitya, Nirmala, Bhagavan, if you just imagine you are thinking about that, the mind is playing the role, and then mind is giving some Akara to that. So you need to go beyond the mind. So again, he says like it is very difficult for the embodied, but you can always try. But remember, even the Vivek Chodamani or any of the, even the Atmabodha, all the Shankaracharya scriptures, he never denied the Bhakti Marga. And he even encouraged that Bhakti will help in this concept. The Moksha Karana Samagram Bhakti Reva Gariyasi Swaswarupanusandhanam Bhaktiritya Vidite Swatmatattvanusandhanam Bhaktiritya Parechaguho. So even that also, to realize your own nature and that Swatma Tattvanu, and then Swaswarupam, your own true nature, and who are you, who is your Atman, and all that thing is the Bhakti is really a biggest instrument. Bhakti Reva Gariyasi. Moksha Karana Samagram, the instrument of the mokshas, Bhakti is the best one. So what is Bhakti? We already talked about that. First of all, सर्वोपाधि विनिमुक्तं तत्परत्वेन निर्मलं हृषिकेन हृषिकेश सेवनं भक्तिरुच्यते. सर्वोपाधि विनिमुक्तं तत्परत्वेन, all the upadhis, engage all the upadhis into the seva, service of the Lord Hrishikesha, that is called the bhakti. So engage all the upadhis means your body, mind, senses and the intelligence. All that when you engaged in the service of the Lord. Service of the Lord means realizing your true nature, realizing who the Bhagavan is, and then always having and then follow the paths mentioned by the Acharyas. So, for example, in the Bhakti Marga, Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Vandana, Pada Sevana, Dasyare, Pujana, Sakijana, Atma Nivedana. Those are all the Bhakti paths. Shravanam, keep on listening. Kirtanam, keep on describing about the Lord. Okay, Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, think about the Lord. Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Vandana, obeisances, prayer to puja, do puja and all, and obeisances basically. Vandana, Pujana, Smarana, Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Vandana, Pada Sevana, Dasyare, Pada Sevana, and then service to the Lord, and then Dasyara, like a servant. And then we make fun, we think that, it's very, lot of people, they don't want to be servant. But in reality, like Prabhupada says, they are all servants. Either we are servant to the children, or the spouses, or the society, or the employer. Okay? Shravana Kirtana, Smarana Vandana, Pada Sevana, Dasyare, Pujana, Sakijana, Atmanivedana. Pujana means do the pujas. Sakijana, as a friend, you just treat the Bhagavan as a friend, and then Atma Nivedana, surrender everything to Bhagavan, because you don't own anything, everything was owned by the Bhagavan. That is what it is, Atma Nivedana. That is called the Navavida Bhakti Marga. And then if you really see the Shankaracharya's Jnana Marga, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. You just listen, and then Manana, think of all the time, and then Nididhyasana, meditate on that part. So he says like Vedantadha vicharena jayate jnanamuttamam tenacyantika dukkhanasho bhavatyam. Tenacyantika samsara dukkhanasho bhavatyam. Vedanta ardha vicharena. All the Vedanta ardhas, the Upanishads and the Gitas. So you just take that ardha vicharana, you can keep on analyzing that part. Vedanta ardha vicharena jayate jnanamuttam. Out of that you get the knowledge which is like a uttama jnana, perfect knowledge, and that's where you will be get out from this life samsara cycle of birth and death. That is what the jnana. Okay, either way, even the Vivek Chudamani now sadhana chatvari, he says like 4 sadhanas. What is that? Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadamadi, Shat Sampatti, and then Mumukshatva. Okay, so that is what the jnana margas are. So basically nothing is different, you think like just like a small minute difference, which whatever you like it, just do it. So he says like first of all Viveka, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, that is what Viveka, what is real, what is unreal. Brahma, our true nature, is real, and then the Jagat is unreal. Okay, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. So that is what the Viveka. And then what is Vairagya? Tadvairagyam Jugup. So Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, Evam Rupo Vinishya, Soyam Nitya, Nitya Vastu, Viveka Samudha. So that is what? Nitya, Anitya. What is real, what is unreal? So what is real means always eternal. The real one is, the truth is eternal. Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means always there. Chit, full of knowledge. Ananda, blissful. You just have this measurement and then keep on observing whatever the thoughts you get into the mind, and then you will decide like which one is real, which one is not. And then you just catch hold of the real and then remove the unreal part. That is actually what is called Satyanarayana Vratam we do. So Satyanarayana Vratam is like having the full conviction of the Satya, the truth, and then follow the marga. That is what Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Now the next one is Vairagya. Tadvairagyam Jugupsaya Darshana Shravanadibihi Deyahadi Brahma Paryante Henitya Bhogavastuni. So all the Bhogavastus, including the body, so you should have the Vairagya. Tadvairagyam Jugupsaya. Jugupsa means you should have the, not even hatred, because you don't even like it, you don't want to do it. That's what it is. It's almost like giving example that, so many examples like a dog eating the full payasa, the kheer, with all the ghee and all the other stuff, with a nicely prepared stuff. They put it in the pan and they forgot, and the dog somehow came and then ate it. Because of that so much ghee and auspicious stuff, it can't able to have it because it is so used to the meat and stuff like that. So it vomited it, and it vomited on the same plate, and the entire payasa is now back to normal. Back to the original quantity basically. Do you really eat that? So that is what the Jugupsa means. This samsara is like that. All the bhogas, we are behind all these desires. Want to enjoy this, want to enjoy even the body, even to live in the body, even to have the body. That itself is the Vairagya. So Viveka Vairagya. Now the Shama Damadi Shat Sampatti. Now 6 Sampattis are 6. What is that? Sampatti means the wealth is what? Shama, Dama, Titiksha. First Shama means control the mind. Dama, control the Indriyas. Basically not going outward. Just first tie it with the dharma, and after that not even going outside, go introvert. Shama, Dama, Uparati, and not even thinking about outside activity, outside vishyas. Shama, Dama, Uparati. Titiksha means like having the patience in each and everything. That is called Titiksha, Shamadama, Titiksha. Shamadama, Uparati, Titiksha. Shamadama, Uparati, Titiksha. Shraddha, Samadhanam. And then Shraddha means having the faith in the Guru Vakya, and then the Upanishad, and then the Shastra Vakya. Having the faith, total faith, and then just follow it. That is what Shraddha. Samadhanam means always keep the mind, Buddhi, in the Buddhi, always thinking about the Brahman. That is what the Samadhanam. Shraddha, so Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam. Those are the 6 Sampatti, like 6 wealths. Okay. And then the final one is Mumukshutvam. So always earning towards the realization of your true nature. And then Ahankaradi Dehantan, Bandhan, Ajnana Kalpitan. That is what the Mumukshutvam is. So Swaswarupan Sandhanam, Moksha, Satsvarupanam, Moksha Vidhyate. So Ahankara Dehantan, that Ahankar, the false ego, is the one which is binding us in the samsara. So to get out from that and then realize your true nature, true I, that is what called Mumukshatva. So these are all called like 4 sadhanas mentioned in the Vivek Chudamani, and that's where we will be working towards that. So that's what the great Acharya is saying, that Bhagavan is saying that, and then the Upanishads are saying that, all the Shastra is saying that. Then only thing is like we need to have the faith and then move forward. That is what Krishna is explained in this up to some second sloka to seventh chapter, seventh sloka. He's explained about that. So just follow it, have faith, and then work towards it, and then realize your own true nature. And then those are all. Then he says that, like seventh chapter, his seventh sloka, he says like, out of that who is engaged in this devotion service, having fixed upon me mind, and then meditating upon always me, then I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death cycle. So that is what mainly. So we think that first of all we need to analyze what is creating, what is the problem we are having in this life. We need to understand that first. Then understand the nature of the things. Then only you will be so long as you are in the samsara ocean of birth and death cycle, you are never happy. So Vana means you are like always pain with pain, all the problems. Nirvana means you will be above, you will be removed, really getting relief from this pain. That's what this spiritual path will give you, the freedom, the full freedom, okay, and which is your own nature. That's what he mentioned it. So basically he mentioned that with the faith, yes, whoever works on this, whoever works making, and then devotion service, whatever, or the impersonal or whatever worship, then you will be, then I'm going to, he says like, I'm going to remove you from the cycle of birth and death cycle. Okay, now from sloka 8 to 11, he gave the paths how to achieve it. The first one, the highest one, he says like, fix your mind on me and engage intelligence in me. That is the highest, and then you will live in me without doubt, right moment at this moment. All the thoughts towards Bhagavan and all the buddhi towards understanding the Bhagavan. Like all the gopis and gopas in the Vrindavana, all they just follow this. Their minds and buddhi are with Krishna all the time. That's why they are always living with Krishna no matter where these conditions are. That is the highest path Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in this Bhakti Yoga. Gopikas are the highest in the devotional service. They are all the highest devotees, and our goal is to that. Now he says on the next sloka, he says ninth one, if you can't fix it, then just follow the principles of Bhakti Yoga. The more and more you are following the principles, Abhyasa Vairagya, keep on practicing that, and with the Vairagya, analyzing the what is real, what is unreal, and then you keep on doing that, then eventually your mind and buddhi will be situated in Krishna Bhagavan. That is the next sloka, ninth one. So he's giving the wherever, whatever class we are in, whatever stage we are in, he is going to give us the task so that we will be ultimately going to the highest level of giving our mind and fixing the mind on Bhagavan, and then giving the engage the intelligence on Bhagavan. Now on the 10th one, he says like, even if you can't able to do the Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working you will come to the stage. Working for Bhagavan means doing this, all that, and then doing the Bhakti service, and then or the Jnana or Dhyana or Karma Yoga, whatever may be, but Bhagavan is the center, and he is just working for the Bhagavan. And then the last one, 11th one, he says like, even if you can't able to do that, whatever you are doing work, just give the results of all your work to me, and then try to be self-situated. So don't own the results. Don't think that you are the ones doing everything, and then either is whatever the results you are going to get, you are going to bhoga. No. So all the results, just give it to Bhagavan, and then the Bhagavan is the one who is owning everything. So if you have that one, and then all the other things will be eventually you'll get it. And the 12th sloka, he says like, even so if you can't engage yourself, so basically he says like, Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharma, no, Shreyan, so this sloka is Shreyo hi Jnanam Abhyasat Jnanat Dhyanam Vishishyate Dhyanat Karma Pratyaga Tyaga Shantarantaram. So he says like, Shreyo hi Jnanam Abhyasat Jnana, so Jnana, knowledge, but without so here he says, if you can then engage in the knowledge, better than knowledge is meditation, but that means having this knowledge without so here Vidyaprakasanga Swami, he said nice things. So Vivekamto Kodana Abhyasam means people who don't have a knowledge, So who don't have the viveka of the Shastra Jnana, who don't know the Shastra Jnana, but they are like a Moda Jnanas. Instead of that, the practice is much better. Abhyasam. No, Vivekam కూడా అజ్ఞాసము కంటే జ్ఞానము శ్రేష్టమైంది. So people who are doing, thinking that they are doing the bhakti, but they are practicing, but they are doing in a wrong, or they don't even apply the mind and all that. Instead of them, the jnana, having the knowledge is important. And even though you have a knowledge, but the dhyana is more important than knowledge, because you are implementing that. Even out of dhyana, the karma paratyaga is more important. So that means at that time you are really implementing it, because all the results you are going to just give it to the Lord. That is what the highest state. Then after that, after the 12th sloka, that is how you will be doing the practice. So basically ultimate is mind and buddhi, and after that he is going to give the qualities of bhakta from 13th sloka to 19th one. So he says like the qualities. So how you really understand who is a bhakta, who is a devotee, means based by looking at the qualities of that. Also you can analyze ourselves, what are the qualities we have, so that we can also define that whether we are a pure devotee or not. So the first one is, mainly there are so many nice qualities, I'm going to just repeat it. So we already explained in the previous slokas, just I'm going to recap everything. Okay. So the first one is one who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities. Not just one who is not envious, but is a kind to all living entities. Next one, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego. Okay. Next one, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, no matter what, self-controlled, mind and indriyas self-controlled, and engaged in devotion service with a determination. Okay, varied with a determination, not like no one need to encourage him, okay, for any other stuff, with a determination. His mind and intelligence fixed on me. Again he says his mind and intelligence fixed on Bhagavan. Next qualification, he by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress. Fear and anxiety is very dear to him. Those are the qualities. See, he is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety. Fear and anxiety too. Because all this one all, because of the bodily consciousness thinking that we are the body. So a pure devotee is already transcendental to all these three gunas, and then he is not in he is a self-situated as a realizer soul. And also next quality is going on, keeps on, like Krishna going on, and the 16th sloka, my devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result. Okay. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, because they are all applied to the body and in the material world. And one who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy. So see, these are all the dvandvas. He is above the dvandvas. And then who is always free from contaminating association. He is having always the good association, thinking about the Lord and only. Always silent and satisfied with anything. With anything he is satisfied and silent. Who does not care for any residence. He doesn't have the attachment of the residence. Okay. Who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in, again, bhakti devotion service. So these are all the qualities. So we know that Bhagavan explained like, first of all, you with the faith, you have to work towards me, and with the faith and bhakti, okay, first, that's what, first, second sloka he says like, Maya Veshya Manoyamam Nityukta Upasate Shraddhaya Pariyopetaha Teme Yukta Tamomataha. Maya Veshya Manoyamam Nityukta Upasate Shraddhaya. Shraddha Nitya Yukta Mano Upasana. So that is what he started. Then after that he says like, people who are engaged in mind and buddhi and everything on me, and then I am going to relieve you from the cycle of birth and death, cycle Mrityu Samsara. And he says like, he says that the two paths, the Jnana Marga is even in third chapter also says that actually there are only two margas. either jnana or sankhya or karma yoga. Karma means bhakti, it comes under that, and then the sankhya means jnana, it comes under the sankhya yoga. Whatever may be the path, he explained the limitations of the paths, and also he is going to, then after that he said like there are stages. First one is mind and buddhi should be given to the Bhagavan. Then after that, if you can do it, he went down and down and down, and after that he gave the qualities of the devotees, so that we can have the measurement of that. That is what the last sloka in this chapter, that is the end of the chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga. And we can say that there are so many bhaktas in the Bhagavatam explained, like Ambarish Mahamuni, Ambarish Maharshi. Ambarish, he always, even though he's a great saint, king, he always engaged in the devotion service all the time. Likewise, we see that Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, and even Parikshit, everyone, Kunti Mata, and then Arjuna, and then so many people which are having so many, they maintain the planets, but still they are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord all the time. So imagine our position and what are we doing it, what are our real responsibilities, and then how much devotions or how much effort we are putting in the spiritual path. And then mainly, as he says, in the last sloka he says like, who engage me is making me the supreme goal are very, very dear to me. Krishna is saying multiple times, this is the supreme goal, we should keep it. And this self-realization, all the acharyas are saying alas. So it's like almost when you realize trying to work towards that and you realize yourself, then you realize the Bhagavan. And when you try to work towards realize the Bhagavan, then you realize yourself. So whatever may be the path, whatever may be your intention, but this Shraddha is very important. So have 100% faith on whatever the Shastra and then the Guru says. Just follow it. For example, follow any acharyas and then don't question them. First think and then follow it and then see whether you are getting the happiness in this moment. So I see so many things like Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Shankaracharya, so many other like Chinmayananda, and then our ISKCON mainly we follow it, and then Prabhupada, and then their gurus, and the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all those teachings, the more and more I am trying to understand it, implement it, I'm really getting the life's goal and happiness in this moment itself. So we should work towards that and then have the faith. So faith is very important, and then working towards the goal is also very important. Having the vision is very important, and engage yourselves all the time so that you will have you will realize and get out from this life cycle of birth and death, and your own true nature you realize, which is nothing but Satchitananda. You are always eternal, you are full of knowledge, and then you are the full blissful state. Okay, I'll end up it and then we'll go. We'll close this. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai. Prabhupada ki Jai.